Hello, everybody. This is Katib again. This is Monday, January the 12th. And do I have an outstanding blog posting for you today to start your week? It's about being humble. Yes, about being humble. We're talking about humility. So, this is a great one. I want you to sit back, relax, and I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen to this really good with your heart. Take it in and apply it to your life. Don't knock it off because it's something different. But I want you to sit back, relax, open your heart, and receive the message.
Author's opening words. Let me say this up front before somebody reads one paragraph and decides I'm preaching, grandstanding, or trying to float above the rest of humanity like I got a reserved seat in heaven. I don't. I'm not writing this from a mountaintop with a staff in my hand and angels harmonizing behind me. I'm writing this from ground level, street level, sidewalk cracked, potholes deep, humidity thick enough to chew kind of level. I'm writing this as somebody who has been wrong more times than I've been right. Somebody who has had to apologize with no excuses attached. Somebody who has had life grab me by the collar and say, yeah, not like that. If humility were a class, I didn't audit it. I was enrolled full-time, failed a few semesters, and still had to retake the course. And just so we're clear, this isn't one of those reflections where the writer pretends they figured it all out, neatly tied with a bow. If you're looking for perfection, you're in the wrong house, baby. If you're looking for honesty, pull up a chair. Might be a little crooked, but it'll hold you. I'm from New Orleans, which means I learned early that pride will get you laughed out the room quicker than bad gumbo. Around here, folks don't mind confidence, but arrogance will have you eating alone. We respect humility because this city has been knocked down too many times to worship high horses. Storms don't care about your resume. Floodwater doesn't check your bank account. And loss will humble anybody willing to pay attention. So if some of this sounds sarcastic, it's because humor is how we tell the truth without breaking each other. And if it sounds tender in places, it's because I still believe reflection should heal, not just expose. Take what you need, leave what you don't. And if you recognize yourself somewhere in these words, don't get offended, get curious, lay rare. Now come on, let's talk. Get down off that horse before it bucks you. A reflection on humility, ego, and learning the hard way. By Keteb Shunna. Humility usually doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door open when you're halfway through congratulating yourself. 1 minute you're feeling real accomplished, chest out, back straight, thinking you finally arrived. The next minute, life says, arrived where? And hands you a receipt you weren't expecting. Most of us don't start out arrogant. We get there slowly, step by step, compliment by compliment, achievement stacked on top of achievement until we start believing the highlight reel is the whole movie. Society helps with that illusion. Matter of fact, society sells it wholesale. We're taught to measure ourselves early. Grades, titles, salaries, zip codes, the size of the house, the year of the car, the brand on the clothes. We don't just measure ourselves either. Oh no, we size up everybody else too. Same crooked ruler, same warped scale. And somehow we convince ourselves that this mess equals worth. That's how folks end up on high horses they didn't even mean to climb. And once you're up there, perspective gets funny. You stop seeing people. You start seeing categories. Successful, struggling, worthy, not quite. And if you're not careful, humility starts feeling optional, like an accessory you can put on later. But here's the truth we like to dodge. Everything is not about us, never was, never will be. We are tiny threads in a massive moving tapestry. Necessary, yes. Central? No. The universe doesn't revolve around our opinions, our pain, or our personal timeline. That realization can either humble you or harden you. We live in a culture obsessed with arrival. Where you should be by now, what you should have by now, who you should be by now. And if you don't match the imaginary schedule, something must be wrong with you. That pressure alone breeds comparison. Comparison breeds judgment. Judgment breeds ego. And ego is loud, fragile, and allergic to truth. It doesn't take much to start believing you're better than somebody else. A good job will do it. A little money will do it. Good looks will definitely do it. Education, family name, even spiritual knowledge, which is wild when you think about it. Folks will sit on a high chair because they think they got life figured out, forgetting how quickly chairs can wobble. And it's not just people with things who struggle with this. People without can fall into it too. Pride wears many costumes. Sometimes it dresses up as resentment, sometimes as bitterness, sometimes as quiet superiority that says, at least I'm not like them. I know because I've worn a few of those outfits myself. Had to throw them out once they stopped fitting my spirit. That's why I started choosing humility on purpose sometimes. Not for applause, not to be dramatic, but to remember. I'd take the RTA bus instead of driving, sit there listening to conversations, watching tired faces headed to honest work, people holding hope in one hand and a transfer pass in the other. I remembered being there, remembered praying for a car, remembered what it felt like to depend on timing you couldn't control. That bus ride brought me back down to earth real quick. And sometimes I walked. 6.6 miles, 2 hours and change. New Orleans on foot will talk to you if you listen. Your legs start burning. Your thoughts slow down. Ego gets quiet because it's too busy trying to breathe. You notice details you'd miss speeding past. Those walks did something to me. Still do. I fasted sometimes too. From food, from noise, from the need to be right. Fasting shows you who's really running the show. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about direction, about choosing what serves your future instead of what flatters your moment. I'm human. Fully. I still catch myself. Still course correct. Still choose peace even when pride wants to speak. I want peace in my body, peace in my relationships, peace in my lineage. And I learned you cannot hand out peace if your own cup stays empty. Somebody once told me it's better to humble yourself before creation humbles you. Let me tell you something, that whipping hurts, and it leaves marks. I've got a few reminders. They don't make me bitter. They make me careful. Humility isn't weakness. That's lazy thinking. Humility is strength with manners. It's knowing who you are without needing to announce it. It's being solid enough to say, I was wrong, and not fall apart. It's understanding your value without turning it into a weapon. My granny used to say, Treat people the way you want the Creator to treat you when your life hits the scales. She talked about the heart being lighter than a feather. That lesson stayed with me longer than most sermons ever did. Humility doesn't mean letting people run you over. It means knowing when to step aside and when to stand firm. Wisdom lives there. That's why symbols like the Sphinx matter to me. Half lion, half human. The lion is our instincts, our appetites, our ego. The human head is awareness, reason, spirit. The lesson isn't to kill the lion, it's to guide it. Discipline is the leash. Consciousness is the hand holding it. Let me tell you about Inez. Inez lived in the 7th Ward, sold herbs, remedies, and straight talk. Folks with loud success and quiet problems ended up on her porch somehow. She didn't chase wisdom, she embodied it. One day a man asked her how to win at life. She told him to carry water home without spilling it. He failed. Again and again. Finally angry, he asked for the secret. She said, walk slow enough to notice your hand shaking. That was it. No lecture, no applause. Years later, when his world collapsed, he came back, sat, listened. Humility teaches you how to walk. I learned that lesson again when I took over my mother Marva's house after she passed. Decisions made after Katrina looked fine at the time. Survival choices. But years later, the cracks showed. Fixing them costs more than money. It costs understanding. Our choices echo. Humility asks us to think forward. At some point, we have to admit it's not all about us. Our unborn are watching through time. Our behavior matters. So choose humility. Choose listening. Choose peace before the horse throws you. Author's closing words. If these words stirred something in you, I ask that you share them by any positive means. Pass them along like a story worth telling. If you're able, please consider donating to support the writer and the blog. Your support keeps this work alive. Thank you for listening. Thank you for walking with me. Kateb Shuna. The meaning of the image in the reflection. Let me say this plain. This image ain't trying to flex intelligence or sit you down for an art lecture. It's more like that friend who leans over mid-conversation and says, "You good?" Not loud, not dramatic, just honest enough to make you pause. That cracked sphere in the middle, that's us. Me, you, everybody walking around pretending we're more together than we actually are. It ain't shattered, though, and that matters. It's stressed, weathered, pulled on from both ends. That rope tugging at it feels like expectations, responsibility, pride, and that constant pressure to have it together, even when you're barely holding it together. You know the feeling. Now those staircases, they look impressive at first, like progress, like elevation, like somebody made it. But look closer and you'll see they don't quite line up. Some stop short, some crumble, some lead nowhere in particular. That's life playing one of its favorite tricks. Making you think climbing higher automatically means you're standing on something solid. Down here in New Orleans, we learned the hard way. Height don't mean much if the foundation's shaky. Storms will humble a penthouse just as quick as a shotgun house. That big eye hovering up top, don't tense up. It ain't judgment, it's awareness. That quiet moment when you catch yourself thinking, yeah, I might have been doing a little too much just now. It's self-check. Conscience. That internal pause before pride gets to talking slick. And honestly, awareness don't yell. It just watches, which somehow makes it harder to ignore. Then there's that scale holding the feather. Now listen, that feather is unimpressed. It don't care about titles, followers, or how spiritual you sound when folks listening. It's weighing your heart. And hearts get heavy real quick, packed with comparison, resentment, ego, and that sneaky thought that whispers, well, at least I'm not like them. Yeah, that one, we all done heard it. The colors in this image, loud, bold, almost doing the most. But that's life. Joy and grief side by side, blessings and stress sharing the same calendar week. Around here, we know life don't come muted or polite. It shows up like Mardi Gras, bright, chaotic, beautiful, exhausting, and unforgettable, whether you asked for it or not. And that water creeping through the cracks, that's truth, memory, consequence. Water always finds a way. You can posture all you want, but life gonna slip through and show you where you fragile. Not to embarrass you, just to soften you up, because stiff things snap. Flexible things survive. So now this image ain't about falling off the horse. It's about realizing you've been sitting up there a little too long, chest out, acting like gravity don't know your name. Coming back down ain't failure. It's clarity. It's balance. It's peace settling in your bones. And if something in this image made you uncomfortable, good. That means you're still paying attention.